Welcome back to the show. You're listening to CentralCoastRadio.com, and I'm your host, Kyle, and I'm going to talk about a recent play that I just saw at Malthouse Theatre. It's called Telethon Kid. And, well, it opens with the generous annual global healthcare conference. It's presented by the spectacular KT, played by Effie Nakamura. And, well, this is where Big Pharma and their shareholders all pat themselves on the back for making billions of dollars medicating people. Their motto is generous tomorrow's cures today. Now, since birth, Sam Harmer, played by William Rees, has lived with an extremely rare Titan myopathy disorder. It's a fatal degenerative muscular disease, but he hasn't let it hold him back, and he's been living a full life. He's in his mid 20s now, and part of that life included being a celebrity telethon kid, where he raised millions for medical research. Now, springboarding from that celebrity into a career on social media, on YouTube and such like that, as an influencer and a body positivity spokesman. Now, at this conference, Sam's former pediatrician, just referred to as Doc, played by Max Brown, is shortlisted for this year's generous prize of funding. It's a grant which he's nominated for his tireless research on Sam's still as yet unnamed disease. However, since aging out of pediatric medicine, the two haven't actually seen each other in the flesh in years. Um, that is until this weekend when their reunion turns into a romantic night in Sam's hotel room. And then pretty soon questions of the appropriateness of doctor-patient relations such as these run through Doc's mind. Sam, however, is a man with no time to worry about things like that, and these issues threaten to tear them apart. And Doc is faced with quite a moral dilemma. Sam himself, more aided by himself, somebody who's aided by Big Pharma, he's challenged over whether to reject the industry which hurts people that it's supposed to help. Now, I think to understand where Telethon Kid is coming from, I think it helps to understand its creator, Alistair Baldwin, a little bit, or to know a little bit about him. Now, himself, he grew up with an undiagnosable muscle disease, but again, he never let it hold him back any more than his character of Sam. Uh, the He's now an established writer and director and stand-up comedian and an advocate, and he looked back at his life and wondered what psychological impact all the childhood pokings and proddings and biopsies and examinations might have had on the one-of-a-kind miracles such as himself. This makes it clear, I guess, that Telethon Kid is a story very near and dear to Baldwin's heart. Many subjects are explored, such as the intimacy which forms between the doctor and their patient. Can a patient really give consent to a doctor when they are there looking for help and they've been told that these people are there to help them their entire lives? Can they really give consent then? Also, what about the difficulties faced by those that are dealing with with a medical industry that's less interested in their boring quote unquote illnesses as it is in curing erectile dysfunction? Now, some of this is actually explored through the relationship which builds between Sam and Evie, played by Ashley Eppap. Uh, Evie is a young woman Sam meets at the conference as well, but she's forced to pose as a doctor just to get medication for her arthritis, which she describes as, hey, it's just arthritis, but as Sam says, taking her under his wing and kind of showing her the ropes of how to properly seek out assistance. As Sam says, it's not just arthritis when you're the one that has to live with it. But the core of the play is built around the romance between Sam and Doc. Reese and Brown share great chemistry on stage, starting from their first one-on-one meeting all the way up to their pillow talk. Uh, it's really intensified by some very kind of steamy love scenes very early in the play. Scene they These scenes are very like stylishly presented, but still, I think some audiences may find them gratuitous. Personally, I disagree with that because I think whether it's a film or on stage, I kind of think it's best to just take the plunge with a story such as this. I think yeah, sometimes it's actually good to shock the audience early on in order to fast track certain feelings that you want them to have for characters and an understanding of the relationship between characters. Although I do admit, I personally I would have also liked to have seen a little more of our romantic duo reconnecting prior to their full-on flirtatious comments and interactions, which lead to the invitation upstairs. Uh, Reese is full of energy and life as Sam, but I was greatly impressed by Brown as the man who is torn between his heart and his loyalty to a calling. Between, well, perhaps because you can really feel the turmoil raging within him as a character, it can actually be hard seeing Sam's dismissal of Doc's moral conundrum. Uh, Doc's concerns are often met with derision or upright or outright condemnation from his lover. Kind of a back and forth on principles explodes, which fuels the rest of the play. I guess it depends which way you personally would lean in the argument, but I guess I could see Doc's point, and sometimes Sam, as a character, didn't make it too easy to see his, personally, anyway. But the special mention must also go to Nakamura, who she was hilarious as Generous's spokeswoman, and she brought the house down. Pretty much all her scenes, the audience just love them. It's it Her scenes are usually paired with these audio-visual presentations throughout the play, which kind of showcase Generous's continued growth. And really, these things and all these kind of promotional materials, they throughout the play, they're just dripping with cynicism. Uh, and some of them are pretty funny too. But also, when you first walk into as anyone that's been to Malthouse Theatre knows, it's actually a series of smaller theatres, and as you walk into the Beckett Theatre for this show, uh, you'll be forgiven for thinking that the stage actually, it seems at first glance it seems deceptively Spartan. But the set design by Christina Smith, with the stage management by Cointha Walkton, it really did leave me stunned. Many plays that I've seen at the Malthouse really only feature minimal set changeovers, if any changeover in sets at all. But Telethon Kid actually sports nearly a dozen, with really great lighting design by Rachel Lee and sound design by Danny A. Esposito. The stage transforms throughout the night from a conference hall to a sexy boudoir to a hospital room to a leaky parking garage and beyond that. It's actually, that was one of the aspects of the play that I was I was really amazed by. But the play, it really is one of 2023's most interesting productions, I think, thanks to its brave tackling of often ignored subject material and an amazing cast and brilliant direction by Hannah Fallowfield. It's a play that I think is both hysterical and heartbreaking in equal measure, and Alistair Baldwin's debut is, well, yeah, it's sure to be a hit with audiences, I think. Now, it's currently playing at a Malthouse in South Bank. Uh, unfortunately, the final day is on the 13th of August, but if you're interested in tickets, just please visit malthousetheatre.com.au. And who knows, they might have a revival of it in the future, hopefully. You're listening to centralcoastradio.com, and we will be back right after this.